Let's talk about Hurricane Dorian, which is sitting in the exact same place it was when you tuned in yesterday at this time. It's just sitting and spinning. Again, we used this analogy yesterday. High pressure breaks down. High pressure was steering the storm to the west. No steering currents. Picture yourself in a sailboat in the middle of the Gulf with no wind. Where are you going to go? Nowhere. You're just going to drift until some wind picks up and moves you. And that's what Dorian has been waiting for. Unfortunately, of course, for Grand Bahama Island, it's been sitting on top of those folks for about 24 hours now. And you saw that report earlier of 100-mile-per-hour winds for 12 to 18 hours straight. Are there any trees left? I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows what it looks like on this island until this storm moves away and everybody can start to venture out. So now that it's still sitting stationary, waiting for this trough to pick it up, and is a little bit weaker, any storm that sits in the same spot for 24 hours is going to start to weaken. It really is, because these storms need warm water, and it's using all the surface water, right, to its strength to keep it up. So what happens as it's using all that water, water from underneath comes up, and it's cooler down below. That's what we call upwelling. And with that upwelling, that cooler water being pushed in and around the circulation, it just causes the storm to weaken a little bit. And that's why it's down to Category 3 status now, which is fine. The weaker this gets, the better. But honestly, this is still a major hurricane, and right around the center, especially in some of these darker spots, that's where you're going to get those 120-mile-per-hour winds. You look, hold on, I'm going to go switch things. Don't move, don't move. You look at our forecast for today. As a result, we're going to get another round, another quick little round, if you will, of showers and storms. But then after that, we're pretty much going to be good to go. As you know, I think we're going to be dealing with the surge along the East Coast, but that's really about it. So the fact that it's not moving this morning, and when it does move, the good news is we're going to keep all these hurricane force winds offshore, so storm surge will be the primary factor for our state. You're going to see 3 to 6 feet in some spots. You're going to have water kind of pouring on shore, as we've literally seen a couple of years ago with Hurricane Matthew taking kind of the same path. So as Dorian moves to the north, though, our rain chances are going to drop. So after today, our rain chances do drop down a little bit. Notice in Vero Beach, we got a wind gust of around 31 miles per hour. Miami around 20. Neither of these numbers is all that bad. It's just that persistent onshore flow that's going to cause the problem and start to push some of that water onshore. As soon as this storm moves, and it is projected to start moving today, it'll initially start kind of drifting to the northwest, and then it'll turn to the north and run parallel to the coastline. Now, I will tell you this. Notice how the entire state of Florida is out of the cone now. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, this Category 3 storm takes the western side of this cone. It may be close enough to get some real strong winds right on the coast, and that's why they've continued the hurricane warnings for today. But there's a legitimate chance that Dorian, which was 100 miles off the coast yesterday, may never make landfall in the lower 48. There is a legitimate chance for that now, which is obviously great news because it keeps the core of the winds off. Storm surge forecast running 3 to 5 feet, especially as you go from the Cape and northward, and sort of rounding that bend as you're getting up into southeast Georgia. And I know what you're thinking, oh, everything's going to be fine. You remember how much damage there was with Hurricane Matthew, with a similar size and a similar strength storm, just by pouring all that water in. So once this storm moves, here comes the water. A1A right into the beaches, up into the St. Johns River, and then eventually into southeast Georgia, near Charleston, South Carolina, and whatnot. So the U.S. is waiting for the impact of this storm, which I think mostly will be water, but we're still waiting for it. 24, 36 hours after this thing's made its way into the Bahamas. Today's futurecast, you see the showers moving across the state. They'll be moving in a similar direction to yesterday. Then as the storm starts to move, may get one more rain band in Polk County tonight. And then once it continues that path to the north, the northerly wind is going to drag in some drier air, and we're just going to cut off the rain chances after tomorrow, okay? We're just going to cut them off for the rest of the week, which of course means it's going to be hot then. But warm and breezy today, a few fast-moving showers. Very similar to the past couple of days, your high 89 degrees. Tonight, mild and muggy and breezy, low 78. Tomorrow, maybe get a tiny shower, just windy and warm with your high temperature about 88 degrees. It's going to be real choppy if you try to do some boating today. Maybe you want to wait until Dorian is well out of the picture for that, especially as we go into the weekend. Look at these numbers, 90s for highs, upper 70s for lows. We got the home opener on Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers, and I don't see any rain in the forecast. I just see a whole lot of heat, okay?